Today, America has discovered a new spatial concept. When Peter Calthorpe looked across the Atlantic Ocean this morning, from the top of the New York skyscraper, he saw a town called Letchworth in the UK. It is a garden city connected to London by a railway. Let's turn to our correspondent in Letchworth.
Yeah, this morning Calthorpe could especially see how the city Letchworth was centered around its main railway station, where it was dense, mixed use and pedestrian friendly. He called this transit-oriented development, or TOD for short. We've been planning like that since the 19th century, but now we finally have a name for what we are doing. TOD increases resident satisfaction with travel behavior and reduces car use, since residents are much more likely to take public transportation. This leads to a greener future and a more efficient use of space.
I see. Now, humans like to argue, so what are the negative effects of TOD?
Well, transit-oriented development is often linked with gentrification, since property prices will rise if public transportation is established. This leads to a whole cascade of other negative effects. TOD can also lead to an increase in the heat island effect, since all that density creates more paved surfaces.
I see. So why do we destroy our cities here in the USA instead of having TOD?
Well, I wouldn't say destroy. We do sometimes build public transportation stops in low-density areas, which means fewer people are served by the station and even fewer will use it. There are also some good examples of TOD, such as the Arlington-Roslyn corridor. The buildings here are much higher close to the metro than further away from it. But also on the other side of the pond, Frankfurt main station is a good example of TOD, since it's situated right in a neighborhood which is mixed use, pedestrian friendly and has a high density of buildings. In the future, many cities such as Stockholm, Amsterdam or Vienna will adopt TOD into their planning policies, and it will generally be considered a good planning practice. On the darker side, transit-oriented development is often used as a marketing term, but since the term isn't actually properly defined, it's easy to argue that a lot of TOD projects aren't actually what they pretend to be, since they are still often very car-centric.
Thank you for this interview. Now we turn back to the US of A, where General Motors has announced that